Well, I'm here to give you guys another fuck around and find out moment. This story that I'm about to share with you guys pisses me off for so many different reasons. So I told you guys that I grew up in a small conservative town, and although my town is now probably about 50-50 Democrat to Republican, I do still live in a pretty rural part of California. And I drive through some of these rural areas, and oftentimes I see signs that say things like, "Are you tired yet? Then vote Republican." On an overpass that I pass up every day on my way to work, there's like this graffiti on it that says, "Wake up, Democrats." So it really pisses me off that many of these people have fallen for the BS, and it's affecting people who didn't fall for it. And I don't give a damn about any of these people who voted for Donald Trump and they're losing their jobs now as a result of it, because to me, that's their fault. They were told, they were warned, they ignored the warnings, and now they have to suffer the consequences of it. And that's exactly what we have in this video. But before I show you guys this video, I want to tell you guys to please go and follow the page on YouTube. It's called More Perfect Union. Without them going out and doing this work, capturing these stories, I wouldn't have anything to talk about. So please follow their page. Okay, let's watch this electrician in Maine who voted for Donald Trump talk about how Trump's presidency has taken away so many jobs from the county that he lives in.
Braden House is an apprentice electrician who last year voted for Trump.
After finding out I was having my daughter at 17, I'm like, I need money. I applied to the apprenticeship and heard back in March of 22, and I started work 3 weeks after I graduated high school. My first week I get in, I get a check for $1,300 for a 40-hour week, and I'm like, yep, this is what I'm doing now. I'm sticking with this.
Scott Cuddy is a longtime electrician out of the same union local as Braden. He told me that until recently, there were so few jobs for electricians that they had to take across-the-board pay cuts to get work.
We had 0 solar projects going on for years and years and years. Guys were traveling to other jurisdictions to go work on solar projects.
That started to change in 2022.
President Biden's signing of the Inflation Reduction Act today comes after more than a year of negotiations among Democrats in Congress.
The Inflation Reduction Act was the largest federal investment in clean energy jobs in American history. It provided tax credits that encouraged business to build renewable projects like solar, wind, and battery storage. And as those projects multiplied, the landscape for skilled trades workers transformed.
The rate for a union electrician is currently about $39 an hour. In 2020, we were at about $29-30 an hour. So we have seen an enormous increase in the wages for the people doing the work, and that's because when you have work to do, you get bargaining power.
They were so desperate for people, they'd raise the amount of money they'd pay you per hour to get you there, and it was competitive. Companies were competing on how much they would pay their guys to get the amount of guys that they needed to finish these solar fields. Solar, it fed my family. You know, solar lined my pockets, and it gave me work for years.
And listen, I know people can go back and look at it and see all the jobs that were created by the Biden administration. We had record job growth under the Biden administration. So when the Trump administration is out there saying Joe Biden wrecked the economy and yada, 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 we know that's not true because we can look those things up. There was job growth after job growth, month after month after month. And these people are proof of it. They had all these solar jobs in Maine because of Joe Biden's Inflation Reduction Act, which gave tax credits to these businesses that created an employment boom. The guy even said, when I started working there and I got my first check, I was like, oh, this is where I'm staying. This is what I'm going to do. And then he went out and voted against his own self-interest and voted for Donald Trump. And listen, I know you guys know exactly why. I know you know when I do these videos, it's typically because of the racism. And yes, it's no different in this case. The guy voted for Donald Trump because of racism.
Take me through your thinking. What was your thinking when you decided to vote for Trump?
When I voted for Trump, my big thing was I agreed with his stance on immigration. I agreed with his idea of no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. I liked his stance on no new wars.
Imagine how much you have to hate brown people to be living in rural-ass Maine, a non-border state where Hispanic people count for like 2.3% of the population. But you hate brown people so much that you're willing to risk your job, your livelihood, food in your children's mouths, and vote for Donald Trump because of immigration. And guess what? The unemployment that you're getting, the SNAP benefits that you're probably getting as well, there's going to be less of that now too. So you voted to lose your job and to lose the benefits that people get when they lose their jobs. When I say these people are dumb and they deserve everything they get, I'm not kidding. This is how strong their racism is. Because this guy doesn't know a damn thing about foreign policy. He doesn't even work for tips, and a little research would have told him that the no tax on overtime will lead to less overtime anyway. He voted for Donald Trump because Donald Trump promised to make America more white again.
What was your reaction when Trump was elected?
I was not surprised.
But were you happy? I mean, you voted for Trump.
Yeah, I was pretty happy. Happy's not the right word. I was indifferent. I was more, great. The better of two evils. Let's hope nothing goes bad. And then now it's going bad.
I do wish there was a way to ensure that people had empathy for other people before things affected them. But it just doesn't seem like that's ever going to happen. So I'm never going to have empathy for people like this. He deserves the worst. He deserves his wife to leave him, his daughter to resent him, and all his friends and family members to shame him. He knew he worked in renewable energy, and he listened to Donald Trump saying he was going to cut funds from renewable energy jobs, and he voted for him anyway because that's how much he wanted to see brown people suffer. And that is why I wish the worst for him. And I don't give a damn who doesn't like me because of it.
The February union meeting of this year, of 2025, the business manager during his report said, guys, I can chart out full employment to mid-2027 right now. At the March union meeting, he said, we're going to be looking at 50% unemployment this summer. It went from, I can see full work, get your strength back so you can get back out on the job for the next thing, till 2027, to we will be at 50% unemployment this year.
When did you realize this would affect you?
It really hit me about 2 weeks into my layoff because at first it was like, yeah, these layoffs should only last 1 or 2 weeks. And then the 4th week came around, and that's when it really hit me that we might be in for no work for a while.
Braden is one of 66 apprentices in his union who've been laid off since April. He's now on a waiting list for the next job, with nearly 30 people ahead of him.
I've seen 3 people move off that list in the last 60 days. In summer, usually everyone's employed. Usually there's enough work that everyone's employed. Right now, seeing only 3 people move in 60 days, it's bleak.
I will terminate the Green New scam immediately. It's the greatest scam.
They love to have the guys standing behind them in the hard hats when they have a press conference, but when it comes to doing the actual policy that will actually help us, we have that policy in place right now. It's the IRA. It's helped bring more people into the trades. It's helped us get paid more, and this is across the board. The policy's in place. If you just let the policy survive, we'll be fine.
This is a great bill. This is going to be a great bill for the country.
I think he could swallow his pride. He's cutting the things that Joe Biden did that made labor so good in the name of, I don't like Joe Biden, so I don't want to stand for anything he stood for.
And you voted for Donald Trump because you don't like brown people and you don't want to stand in rooms with them or in lines with them or at school functions with them. You voted to see families shipped out of this country back into harm's way, and you were willing to go broke because of it. People like this suck, and I hope he never gets his job back. I hope he has to sit with the fact that his life sucks because he voted to see other people's lives suck. Period.
Don't want no enemies or ops. Envy in they heart, I tell them stop. Vacation on the yacht.